Hello everyone. The time we have today together, I'm going to talk about collaboration because collaboration is so important to the work that many of us do. Helen Keller once said that alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. And it's curious to me for something to be so important and such a foundation working together toward a project to get something done that's very important. We know so little about collaboration, even though we think we know so much about it. Too often people think collaboration is a fixed point and everybody should arrive at that fixed point at the same time with the same motivation, with the same resources, and it seldom works that way. What we need to understand when we're telling staff members to go and collaborate with another entity or another person, we don't really define what we mean by collaboration. And collaboration actually is a process, and until we realize that, we will continue to miss a lot of opportunities to collaborate in an effective way. One way to better understand collaboration is to consider collaboration as a continuum with a beginning point and an ending point of collaboration, and even beyond collaboration, something called convergence, where we work very closely together to the point that we don't even consider it collaboration anymore. So we'll talk about this continuum in the brief time we have today. You can see on the slide, the first point is contact. We contact each other. And believe it or not, there are some people who think that contact is collaboration. So they become a little frustrated when somebody says, well, you're not collaborating with us. And they're thinking, well, I did collaborate with them because we made contact. The next level, as you can see, is to cooperate. Again, people think, well, we're collaborating because we have cooperated. And collaboration is much more complicated than that. I would imagine everybody in the room at some point felt like they were collaborating, and if you really take stock of what you were really doing, you were really only at the cooperation level. And the next step is coordination. And this is where we lose a lot of potential for collaboration, because a lot of people think coordination is collaboration because you've invested some time, you've invested some staff, perhaps some money, and you really think, and we really think, that coordination is collaboration. And that's where a lot of potential collaboration breaks down, because we think we're at the point that we need to be, but we're not. And then that leads to collaboration. And as I mentioned earlier, if collaboration works so well and everybody works so seamlessly in the sharing of resources, you can get to the next level called convergence, where you're working so seamlessly together you really don't even think about it as collaboration. It's also important to keep in mind when you're asking somebody to collaborate that you're asking them to invest a lot, which means you're asking them to take some risk. And you have to acknowledge that, but also when you're talking to them about moving toward collaboration, focus on the benefits. Not necessarily benefits for you, benefits for them, but benefits for the project that you're working together on. We'll go through these stages. Contact, as you would imagine, is just the open dialogue, the first contact you have together. Cooperation is when groups are coming together and trying to work toward, in an informal way, some activity to work together. Coordination, and this is a critical phase, as I mentioned earlier, where you go beyond the ad hoc work and you're actually seeing some work come together. You're putting the puzzle together, so to speak, and you see where you identify some of those pieces of the puzzle, so you're putting that together and you see how things may come together. And the danger there is, again, as I mentioned earlier, people mistake this level as being collaboration, but it is not. Collaboration, there's a lot of definitions of collaboration, but collaboration is when exciting things happen. For example, collaboration is when things are thought of, ideas are generated, strategies are developed that individuals would never think of, but collectively it comes together in such a dramatic and dynamic way that the end result really leads to collaboration and a project that's worthwhile. Convergence, we should all seek convergence. Collaboration is a noble goal and it's difficult to get there many times, but once we get to collaboration, it shouldn't end there. If we can take it to the next level of convergence, where we're working so closely together, so seamlessly, if you will, that we don't even call it collaboration anymore. We're just one entity working together toward a very unique and worthwhile project. The dilemma is, as I mentioned earlier, and I'll repeat it, is we don't know sometimes we have reached collaboration or not. One thing that we need to keep in mind in this project that we're talking about with the reading initiative, and this is the difference between coordination and collaboration and convergence. If we view this initiative as a reading initiative only, we will get to coordination. I'm convinced we'll do that. But if we view it as something beyond a reading initiative, if we view it as a quality of life initiative, where we tell people that the more kids learn to read at grade level and adults have a quality reading skills, that changes their quality of life. So this project is not just about reading. This project is about quality of life. If we go into this project with this idea of collaboration, that this is a quality of life issue, this is a quality of life initiative, we will go way beyond coordination and we will actually go into collaboration and into convergence.